So, you've decided to play Dungeons and Dragons. First of all, welcome. You're about to have an amazing time telling stories, rolling dice, and arguing about whether that spell actually works that way. But every new D&D player makes mistakes. Today we're going to go over some common mistakes made by new players, why they happen, and how to avoid them. So you can spend less time being confused and more time doing cool things with your friends. The first big mistake that every player eventually makes is thinking you have to win D&D. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is thinking D&D can be won. It's not a video game, there's no high score, and the Dungeon Master is not your enemy. If you're constantly trying to beat the DM, rules lawyering every ruling, or hoarding magic items like it's a competition, things get awkward fast. You want the other players to enjoy playing with you. You want the DM to want to run a game for you. And this can make things complicated, to say the least. A good mindset to have here is that D&D is collaborative storytelling. The goal isn't to win, it's to make a cool story together. In my opinion, D&D might be the best form of collaborative storytelling, or at least tabletop RPGs might be the best form of collaborative storytelling. Everybody relies on each other to make a good story. The DM is there to lay the framework and keep things in check with like rules and stuff, but the players are there to create the story itself and to have fun doing it. Sometimes failing a roll makes the story better. Sometimes your character dying is tragic, but it's also unforgettable. Embrace the chaos that comes with this game and you'll have more fun. The second common mistake is not reading your own character sheet. Nobody is expected to memorize the player's handbook. But if you don't know what your own class can do, your turn in combat quickly turns into, what can I do again? Over and over and over again. This slows down the game and puts pressure on the DM to basically play your character for you. An easy fix for this is to, at the beginning of each session, read your class abilities, your spells, if you have them, and what your main attacks can do. Something I really like to solve this particular problem is there is a website called armorclass.co that I have talked about in videos in the past. We're not affiliated in any way, I'm too small for that, but I love their stuff, and they have a couple of really good resources for like new players. There is a cheat sheet document on there to just go over the basic rules of how to play D&D, but there are also specified class character sheets. So these character sheets will tell you like the base abilities of the class, what you get at each level, and will leave gaps for like writing subclass information in. So you don't need to know everything, you just need to know your options, which armorclass.co can really help with. A third common mistake is making a character that doesn't want to adventure. We've all seen it. My character doesn't trust anyone. My character hates teamwork. My character would never help with this quest. Cool concept for storytelling, but terrible D&D character. D&D is a group game. If your character refuses to cooperate, the story grinds to a halt, or the rest of the party just leaves you behind. A better approach here is you can be edgy, mysterious, or even grumpy. You just have to make sure your character still wants to adventure and has a reason to work with the party. Maybe there's an ulterior motive that's revealed later in the campaign. Maybe your character has to do it for survival. I did a video over character tropes. I did 2 videos over character tropes where I talk a little bit more about like why your character might want to adventure and some drawbacks that come with common character tropes used in D&D. Lone wolves are great, but lone wolves are better when they join a pack. The fourth common mistake I want to talk about is trying to do everything alone. New players sometimes forget they're not the main character. They rush ahead, start fights solo, or make huge decisions without consulting the party. This usually ends with someone going down, a plan falling apart, or the entire session derailing. A great tip here is to talk to your party, share your plans, and set each other up for cool moments. Each character should have spotlights during the campaign. Some of them might be longer than others depending on what the backstories are, but each character should get time to shine. D&D shines when players walk together, not when one person tries to carry the story on their backs. A fifth common mistake that new players make is ignoring roleplay because it feels cringe. A lot of new players are nervous about roleplay, and I can understand that. My first character was very much just myself with some fantasy flavoring and some exaggerations. Doing a voice can feel awkward. Speaking in character feels embarrassing. So instead, they just say, my character asks about the quest. That's totally fine if that's how you want to play, but if you want to roleplay more and you feel stuck, here's the secret. You don't need accents. You don't need acting skills. You just need to make choices your character would make. Even saying something along the lines of, I'm nervous but I agree to help, is a little bit more involved. Now, I have been DMing for a bit now, and I don't do that many voices. Sometimes I'll change the inflection of my voice. A character might be a tiny bit more high-pitched. They might speak a little bit faster. They might speak a little bit slower. And it's enough to differentiate the character, but I want to spend more time working on like specific voices. Confidence comes with time. Everyone starts somewhere. Like I said, my first character was just me. When I first started DMing, all of the characters, the NPCs were very similar to each other. They had similar voices. It was just, I didn't get into the swing of it for a bit. Now, the sixth and final mistake that I wanted to talk about in this video is forgetting that the DM is a player too. Your DM isn't a computer. They're not a rule encyclopedia, and they're definitely not a vending machine for magic items. They're not just there to level you up. They're trying to have fun with you. New players sometimes argue every ruling, interrupt descriptions, or ignore plot hooks completely. Remember, the DM is there to have fun. They have probably spent a lot of time prepping for this campaign. It is fine to throw a wrench in those plans because every good DM should expect that. But they are there to enjoy the game as much as you are. So be kind to the DM. They're juggling rules, story, monsters, and your chaotic decisions all at once. A good DM has to be good at improvising, but they don't have to put up with abuse from the players. A little patience goes a long way here. So if you're making these mistakes, that means you're learning. Everyone messes up when they start playing D&D. People who have been playing D&D for a while still mess up. The important part is showing up, buying things, and having fun with your group. If you liked this video, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments what was your biggest mistake when you first played D&D. I hope everybody is having an amazing day, and until next time, guys, peace.